What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Life You Have with Tez. That's me. And today we're going to talk about how to be a good employee. This is the second video in this series that I'm doing right now. It's called In the Workplace. First one, we talked about how to be a good leader. Now, this video is all about how to be a good employee. So before we get into it, go ahead and tap that like button and subscribe if you so choose to do it. Now, let's go ahead and get into the video. 1, do your job. The first rule of being an employee is there is no job without the employee. You need to, how should I say this? Do your job. Like my man Spidey says in Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. Do your job. You were hired with one goal in mind. That was somebody who can just do a job. That was it. There was no other reason that you were hired. You weren't hired because you're a great person and you have a great personality and you can, solve the world's problems. You were hired to do the job, whether that's mopping floors, cleaning toilets, cooking food, being the fry guy, whatever. You were hired to do that thing. Now, there might be sub jobs at your job that you have to do, but they're all just doing your job. You're on the clock for a certain time to do that one thing. Whether it might turn to 5 sub things, it's still one thing. But guess what that thing is? Doing your job. You can't be a good employee without doing your job, and that's non-negotiable. Number 2, stop complaining. Piccolo told Gohan in one of the games, because it wasn't in the anime and nobody has a clip of it that I can share you. Piccolo told Gohan that if you have enough time to cry, you got enough time to fight when it came to fighting Nappa and Vegeta. So if you have enough time to cry about your job, then you have enough time to do it. You'd be surprised by how much time you actually waste by complaining about doing a thing instead of actually doing it. And the time that it took you to walk and go find a leader to complain to them about it and stand there and whine, you could have easily have accomplished that task. But instead, you want to take time out of the leader's day, you want to take time out of your own day and the job's time so you could complain about somebody else not doing something or doing that job. Yes, we know it could have been put out earlier that you have to do this thing. Yes, if the other person was there to do their job, then we wouldn't be here now. But guess what? We are here, so you're gonna do the job. It's just that simple. The thing about complaining is that it doesn't solve anything, and then it eventually turns to whining, and we all know what happens when people whine. Number 3, take pride. Take pride in what we make you do. Look, people can see when you take pride in something, whether your uniform is the only one that's pressed, where everybody else's is dirty from the same work week of mud and filth, or maybe you work at a restaurant, somebody spilled grease on your thing, or maybe they dropped tomato sauce, it fell on your pants or whatever. If you're still wearing the same pants, you haven't even washed them, people notice that. Customers notice that. If you stand out amongst the crowd, you look better than everybody else, people notice. Look, I had this whole thing in the Army. I was trying to be better than the best guy. But the thing is, everybody has a critical mission error. Everybody makes that one mistake that knocks them out of the running. So my motto, stop being be better than everybody and just be let them knock themselves out. People can't always accomplish the mission. All you have to do is just do your job well enough, look better than everybody else, or show up earlier than everybody else, and you automatically look better than everybody. Even if you don't care about the job, take pride in what you do, because if you look like you take pride and you look motivated, you're gonna get promoted over everybody. That's just how it goes. I'll tell you like this, in the Army, all you gotta do is 4 things well. Show up in the right uniform, show up at the right place at the right time, show up with the right attitude, and show up. If you can do those 4 things, really a 5, if you can run fast and do some push-ups, you're definitely gonna get promoted. And really just be motivated. The more motivated you are, the more people are gonna be like, I like that guy. Promoted. And while your friends are sitting there wishing that they were promoted, they're gonna blame it on you that they're not promoted because they're bitter and they don't know any better. Number 4, be thankful. It doesn't take a genius to know that we are currently in a pandemic. That means that your job is not guaranteed. It is not guaranteed. The only guarantees that we have are military jobs, really. Just stay in and do those 4 things that I just talked about and you'll be fine. But if this whole pandemic, lockdown, quarantine situation has taught us anything, it's that everybody can lose everything at any time. Yet there's still some people who think that they're untouchable. They are also the same people who come to work and they complain when they get fired because they're not doing their job, but then they want to fight for their job back afterwards. It's weird. So when I got out the first time, like there was more than a first time, I got out the first time in 2016, and I went to work at a pizza place, and we had people who were really good at their jobs. Now, separately, there was two different people. Separately, they were really good, but when they got together, they were a problem. So you know what happened? They got fired together, and then what they wanted to do is they kept calling, trying to get their jobs back. Like every time we had them on shift, they would always be like, I don't need this place. I don't need this job. I don't need anything. I don't need anybody. They act like I got, like I don't have other options that I could go to. It's like, okay. So when they got fired, they were like, can I have my job back? I'll do anything. Okay, well, I guess I thought you didn't need this job. Be thankful, because there's a lot of people who don't have jobs who would love to take your job. It's just like in 2008, where all these people could not find jobs, and they thought that all these jobs that everybody else was doing was below them.
Till they had to do it.
Oh, now all of a sudden a garbage man who works at waste disposal, now all of a sudden that's a luxury job now, when you just lost that $100,000 a year job that you had now, isn't it? Or a DoorDash driver is the best thing smoking for you right now since you lost your job. That was typically a job that people are like, man, you deliver stuff, you're low. Now look at people bragging on Facebook and YouTube about how much money they make from DoorDash. So yes, be thankful that you have a job, because we are all one paycheck away from poverty. And that's how it goes. And 5, listen to the one in charge. This one's really important, because we're all guilty of it. We all decide, yeah, that guy sucks. Don't listen to him. He's a little crazy, you know. We all decide to just blow off the leadership that's over us. Even leaders blow off the other leaders because, well, we just don't care. But you know what? We still do what we're supposed to do, because they're the boss, applesauce, is what they say goes. I might not want to do it. I might not like to do it. But guess what? If I'm the leader and I'm doing it, then I expect you, the employee, to actually do it too. Even today in the Army, I see it. So what we have is, we have things called student leadership. I think that's probably like every branch. Like the soldiers lead the other soldiers, they march them and all that. Nobody wants to listen to the one in charge. It'll be like a low ranking private, like a PV1, and the PFCs are like, I don't need to listen to you. I don't even like you. But here's the thing. When you put those people who are the biggest hecklers of that person, you put them in front of the formation and they can't march anybody. Nobody wants to listen to them when they're like, hey, today you got to clean the latrine. I'm not listening to you. It makes them think a whole lot differently now that they're in charge and they have to put people in places they don't want to do. So
obey the person in charge.
Because you never know when you're going to be in charge. So when you keep making those little snide comments and you keep making smirks and laughing, just know your time is coming. And when it does, you're going to be that one that has to make decisions. But of course, not everybody wants to be a leader. Not everybody wants to do that. Okay, then guess what? Somebody else is going to lead you and you're not going to like them either. The problem is going to be you. So you're either going to obey them or you're going to get fired. It's just, there's no two ways around it. Okay, thank you guys for making it this far in the video. So I have a bonus tip for you. That means there's no more fingers on this hand. Be flexible. There's only 2 constants in life, change and taxes. And since taxes change, I guess there's only one axiom in life, and that is change. One day, you just might be on the fry stove. Tomorrow, Tammy might call out, and guess what you gotta do? You gotta run the drive-thru, or you gotta run the register. You might not want to because you hate people, but just know it's for your own good. Number 1, it gives you another skill set to have. If all you know how to do is fry fries and make hamburgers, now you know how to do customer service, which is actually dealing with people, which is a valuable skill set to actually have. And it makes you more valuable. When you are more valuable, you eventually become the
Hokage.
You know, the strongest ninja in the Leaf Village. But we're not talking about ninjas. We're talking about McDonald's or wherever you work, Burger King, Long John Silver, wherever. If you have more skill sets than everybody else, then you're better than everybody else, and that means that you are eventually going to lead them. You are going to become the manager, the one who knows everything about every other job that people do, so nobody can get over on them when they say they can't do something. You might not want to manage though, and that's fine, like I just said. But just having the ability to do somebody else's job means that you get to make more money. Can you imagine that? Making more money. Let's say you get paid $12 an hour to do the job that you're actually doing. Person who is supposed to replace you calls out, so they ask if you want to work a double. That's time and a half. That means that's 12 plus 6 12 plus 6 makes you have $18 an hour, which is actually really good money. So who wouldn't want more money for extra skills that they already have? Wouldn't you? Heck yes. That's the video, guys. Let me know how you feel down in the comments below, and make sure that you tap on that like button, and make sure you subscribe if you feel the need to do so. This is the life you have with Tez. That's me. Peace out.